Well, good morning, Denise. Look what I found.
I I have to tell you, I think you have me beat. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're
I have
welcome.
coffee in hand. I appreciate the logoed cup. Cheers. And on behalf of the staff and management of Crest Hospitality, I'm so grateful for this time with you this morning.
Absolutely. Welcome to Coffee Talk, Port Jefferson's own on the Port Jeff Pulse. This is from back in the day when we were doing the show. We relished those years at Danford's.
Yes, well, we look forward to welcoming you and the community back very soon.
Yes. So this is all the talk with you today is just really about the premise of adoption. Both words are significant here. Perfect example is normally I would see you in person for this wonderful interview, and
Yes.
now we have these tools to do this. But hey, I'm one guy with one little show. You are a massive operation. You are the staple, I think, of Port Jefferson in terms of catering, events. And so we want to hear from you. I'm sure people. I know I've gone to bed at night thinking about your operation and others like you, where you have a big staff, where you have events booked.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, these, as the word has been said over and over, unprecedented times. We were really set up to have a very successful year, not unlike a lot of major companies on Long Island and throughout the state. This is, of course, devastating. No one could have ever predicted it. And God willing, we never have to deal with something like this again. From a catering perspective, yeah, I would agree with you, are the backbone in the community. And Danford's is just such a unique place. We advertise as a boutique hotel, unique boutique hotel, and that's in fact what we are. And it just drives clients from not only local 15-mile radius, but really from all over the state. And to have to work through the calls that we've had and field all the emotion and the conversations from everything is, sadly, as a 100th birthday that can't happen, to a birth and a christening that potentially could not happen, weddings, of course. And I have to tell you, the one that really hits me the hardest, prom.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's a big one. So, yeah, in most cases, we've been very fortunate to work through for the properties that we have to find new dates for most of our guests. Of course, if it was a bridal shower and somehow the wedding is not happening now, or they don't know when it's going to be, or a baby shower and the baby's coming soon and they don't know if they want to go that route. Barring those, we've really been able to find homes and dates for most of the clientele, and quite frankly, from other displaced guests that might have not have been in our family previously. But I would say to anyone that might be listening and watching, if you're some type of a counselor or an advisor or on the prom committee, please help these kids to get their prom. It doesn't matter if it's in August, if it's an insurance issue, do what you have to do to make it happen. Because I don't know about you, Kevin, but for me, that's a memory that's never going to go away,
Yeah,
that
it's true.
you look so fondly on and you really can't redo on your own. So I'm fighting for that one.
That's a really, really great point. Awesome point. Now you have several properties under your management, under your tenure, so to speak. You have the Danford's property, and we're looking at the Waterview right now,
That is
right,
correct.
right on
That is correct.
the North Shore. Um, are there any other properties under your management?
Yeah, so we have what is called Water's Edge Centerport. It was formerly, for Long Island, as they would recognize it as, the former Thatch Cottage.
Yep.
Basically, it was a complete rebuild. So we took it down to the 2x4s and rebuilt it up. It is quite remarkable, quite lovely, and it was slated to open and host our first affairs in June. Obviously, it's a combined, compacted issue for those guests that were supposed to come in. Now it's an issue of whether they feel comfortable, and then now with the slowdown, and we were considered essential as far as construction goes, and now we're on a slowdown mode, and we will be kind of on a safety mechanism to make sure that everything's ready and safe, but maybe not able to continue that construction after a certain point this month. So those guests, same thing like the others, we're just trying to find them a date that might be palatable or that they would feel comfortable with future down the line.
And so the word here is certainty or uncertainty. Even when you find those dates, you and I will both agree there's no light switch going off to say, for example, this date is completely safe. We hope it is, but it's a little bit of a moving target, right? Still?
That is correct. That
Yeah.
is correct. So we're really taking it in 2-week increments. You'd be surprised at how many people are so optimistic and hopeful that they might be able to have an event in mid-May. So we'll hold on with them as long as as we can. But of course, we're going to follow national guidance and make sure that we are opening our doors when it is deemed appropriate. And if they're willing to continue those conversations, we'll do that as much and as frequently as often, and to get them to where they need to be.
I know myself, I talked to the mayor about having a staged event, that new stage we have on July 11th. And I said, this is freedom from COVID day.
Yeah,
So, hoping completely out of the woods by then, as we all do.
right.
Let's jump over to the restaurant side of things. Also, I wonder if anybody could have had any kind of disaster plan. We all have snow day plans. I know that, right? Bad weather. Us in
Correct.
Port Jefferson know about floods, right? You're
Correct.
prepared for that. I don't think anybody can be prepared for this. What did you change, and what are you doing on the restaurant side of things with Easter right upon us?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. It's an adaptation scenario. We at Danfords are known for dining on the water, right? Everybody wants to be outside on the rail or table seating, or if not, inside with those beautiful windows open, floor to ceiling windows, and breathing in the fresh air. And certainly those days are halted at the moment. So, not unlike others in our community, we are doing curbside dining. We change our menu weekly. You certainly could look on danfords.com and see what the chef is offering. It's a new venture for us, but I'd like to think that we're doing it very well. We tied in virtual Saturday night on Facebook that you
So
can do
cool.
happy hour, and a lot of guests are taking those meals in and enjoying the music, right? So what more comforting when people might not be feeling their best or maybe a little bit down, right? Food, music brings joy and happiness. So that's a great way to kind of work through this on a Saturday night. So yeah, we have family meals if you prefer to go that route. If you want to do just a single dining, you can go that route. And for Easter, we did prepare some meals from 4 to 6 people that could be arranged if you're not in the mood or spirit to be cooking for yourself. So we did adapt very well there. And, we're so grateful for the loyalty in the community, our new customers that have come on board. And let's face it, it keeps a handful of us still working and,
Definitely.
and keeping the pulse, if you will.
Yeah, no pun intended, but hopefully you
Right.
did
Yeah, there
attend
you
it.
go.
The other exciting thing that was coming up, which I was so excited about attending, was the end of March. You were going to have the grand opening of a new steakhouse. Tell us about
That's
that.
Yeah, so I was an integral part of that, along with my peers, Vice President of Food and Beverage Mike Lang, and Michael Bonawat, our president, of course, and then not to be forgotten, Chef John Bauer. So the team oversees the 3 properties that you referenced earlier, and we did a lot of due diligence. So a lot of us on the team are only with Crest Hospitality for just about 2 years
Hmm.
now. The ownership has had it for about a year and a half longer than that, and we didn't do a poor job with the restaurant previously. It just never really got the legs that it should, or the notoriety. And one of the biggest bones of contention was that, unfortunately, that the water view at the Port Jeff Country Club is perceived by the surrounding radius as being a private club. Now, of course, we know we have the golf that is private, and the tennis, for residents and non-residents. But with that said, the facility
Sure.
itself, you could certainly dine here, and just it wasn't really a well-known feature, and we did everything we could to market that way. So we started doing a little bit of research and realized, like, what is missing as far as types of food and cuisine that might be available in this local area. And undoubtedly, it came up that it was a steakhouse. Matter of fact, you and I were at an event, if you remember, for Tesla, and we were promoting at that time our lobster bake, and
Yes.
quite a few guests had come up to the exhibit table and said, I'm not a seafood fan, but if it was a steak and bake, I'd be there. And that spoke volumes, and it really helped us to dive into this and go a bit further. So to your point, the restaurant was to open a soft opening
Love
on
it.
March 25th, and the grand opening was to be March 28th. And yes, of course, that had to be put on hold. But we are ready to go. The restaurant looks tremendous. It's beautiful. It's so well designed. Our corporate interior designer did a fabulous job along with Michael, and it looks stunning, and it's getting dusted off every week, just waiting for us to open the doors and welcome our guests. And I really believe that it will do very, very well. So one of the things we had to ensure that we made note of is, how do we get people there that might think it's restricted?
Hmm.
And so the restaurant is called The Club, a public steakhouse, and we are going to be waiting with open arms to welcome the public.
Yeah, that's right in the name, right? A public steakhouse.
That is correct.
And it's so true. You have to go a little bit west to get a good steak. let's be honest. So you'll fill that void, you know what I mean, on the
Absolutely.
North Shore right here in Port Jefferson. Not that there isn't other places to have steak, but I mean a steakhouse.
Correct.
Uh,
It's about a 15-mile radius to really kind of fill that
correct,
void.
correct. Awesome. Um, we should talk about right across the street from that. You took over a new place that used to be called The Turn, as well, right? This is a
That
new.
is true.
Okay, what's that going to be called this year?
So we're not changing the name. It is still
Okay,
called The Turn. And so now whereby we just have the catering and the restaurant on, for lack of a better word, on the opposite side of the parking lot.
yep.
Now we are managing and servicing the food element to the members and the golf tournaments that go on that
Okay.
side of the street. Yes.
So that's right there at that hole, the first hole where the pro shop is. For those that don't know, and
Yes,
that's
it's connected to the pro shop.
what a
Correct.
great view there. Obviously, where you are right now, people should know right in back of you that is the beautiful Sound, the Long Island Sound. Across the street, being the Turn, you're overlooking the golf course. You can't lose on either of them.
You can't lose. And we are great partners with the mayor, Margot, of course, and everybody at PJC and the golf committee and the tennis committee. And over the last couple of months, we embraced what was like where the scoreboard area was, and we beautified it together so that when the members and outings want a place to sit and maybe just kind of relax in the shade, we've enhanced that entire area with both their efforts and ours. So we're looking forward to this being behind us so that everyone can enjoy a cocktail or a sandwich or whatever it might be, or just a breather in that newly renovated spot.
It feels like when things come back, they're going to come back with such a positive, vibe that we're going to party like it's 2020 again.
Right. So we say it all the time. We're New Yorkers, and we've definitely in our time we've fallen to our
Sure.
knees. Right. We've been hit hard and we've fell to our knees, but we get up stronger, bigger, and better. And I think you and I briefly talked about the silver lining that you need to find in this right now. We may never understand it.
Mhm.
It may never really truly make sense, but we have to get back to grassroots, what the simpler things in life. I feel very
Very well
strongly
said.
that,
I,
you
I-
know,
I'll s- I'll say this. This is such a small thing, and it's almost embarrassing to say, but I've had more dinners with my entire family at home in 1 week than I've had in 2 months, just because I go go go, and I'm a
and
perfect example. And it's uh it's really
it speaks
apparent.
volumes, and it gives
Yeah.
me chills, quite frankly. And it's really about, we have to love the ones we're with. We have to kind of take a back, seat and think about technology. Like, we wouldn't be able to do what you and I are doing right now without it. But sometimes I think we are in our own
Oh
way.
yeah. Yeah.
Our heads are down, and we're missing, what's around us. And
What's
so,
important?
right. And now more than ever, most of us are reminded, sadly, a couple of times here and there through a year about, really understanding that life every day is precious and to embrace it. And we know that when sad things happen, but if this doesn't really kind of keep you in that mindset, then I don't know what else could.
Absolutely. Denise, you really have this on the wraps. I can understand why you're so revered there, and we appreciate you being with us. Is there anything you'd like to say, both to the public and or your employees at this time?
Yes, I'm certainly grateful, as others I'm sure are. It takes a village, right? And we are so grateful that the associates that we asked to be at home and support us in that way, protecting themselves, protecting their families, so that when this moves forward, we can bring them all back and jump on board with all of the success stories we have for the future with our clientele and moving dates and events. So we're grateful for them doing their part. I'm incredibly grateful, and I know I speak on the entire team that's still trying to go through the trenches every day,
Sure.
for our housekeeping team. I mean, we still do have guests staying with us. We are taking, we had to rewrite the books on what our SOPs, our standard operating procedures are.
Yes.
From a cleanliness perspective, we did a phenomenal job before, but now it's a matter of taking things to a whole nother level. And so, incredibly grateful for them, the culinary team, for getting those meals out and giving people a sense of comfort and providing them with food. So, I also want to thank, the chamber and the bid, because they allowed Danfords to be a part of servicing meals and donating meals to the frontline medical personnel. And so we're so happy that we were thought of and that we were able to contribute in that way. And we want to continue to do that. As they say, like, again, no different than, sadly, if you lose someone, everyone's there in that moment, right? but we need to continue to be there for everyone
Mhm.
thereafter. So I hope that I have the opportunity with you maybe in a couple of months from now. Margaret and I and Crest Hospitality are working on some great ideas that we could say thank you in bigger ways to the medical field. So I'll share that with you at another time, and
Yep.
something to look forward to. So, the hospitality field is one of servicing guests. So not only is there, of course, the revenue downstream that is a bit difficult to handle, but more importantly, not seeing guests in your lobby, not being
Mhm.
able to touch them every day, our service personnel not being with us to be able to do so, right? In hospitality, it's about empathizing, and we empathize right now, but we really are missing our vendor partners and our customer base, and of course our own associates. So we'll
Yeah, you're right. Your mission is normally to take someone who's had, a bad day and make it better through hospitality. And so now you're going to come back in a way that's bigger and better than ever before. Denise, you're an awesome representative of your company, and I'm
thank you
saying
so
this
much.
public, really
Oh,
great, and you look
oh,
fantastic, and people
thank
should know
you.
you were going to come on the phone. I said, get on here. You look beautiful, really. You look
Thank
really
you.
great.
Thank you. This is a time, it doesn't matter what, your faith may be, but right now we have people celebrating Passover, Easter's this
Mhm.
weekend, right? It's Holy Thursday, and I want to send my blessings and my heartfelt thoughts about everyone out there, and we will get through this. We will be better for it, and I'm grateful to you, grateful to the community for embracing us and myself, and again, thank you on behalf of our entire company.
Thank you, and you don't realize how much you're helping me too. It's great to communicate.
Oh, so we might have to do this a little more often. So on
Anytime,
that note,
Denise.
thank you for
Anytime.
having us, and you're sporting your mug, and we'll look forward to talking to you, and have a very blessed week.
You too. Happy Easter.
Thank you. Bye.